Morning, everybody. John Sviokla here with the GAI Insights crew, giving you Gen AI news briefing for Radio News Essential, important or optional. Today we have Alden De Rosario, who is home with an Achilles tendon tear, so we have him captured on his couch. Going to help us out here. Ankash, Paul, and Luda. All right, got a big news day today. Ankash, we start us off.
Sure, John. So the first one that we have for today is a big one from OpenAI. So OpenAI has released open weights models.
Yeah, very interesting, especially as a counterweight, pun intended, to the article by Andrew Ng yesterday talking about how the Chinese are leading through open weight models. What do you think here, Alden?
This is no-brainer essential. It is, this is like OpenAI throwing a nuclear bomb into the mix. Uh, Open source and open weights was taking off really well until the big Meta debacle, and this is a great time now for open weights to come back into play, right? What will be interesting, not just on like use cases, because I just tested it out. It is like equivalent to Oppo Mini and at 10x price difference, right? Almost 10x cheaper. So that opens up so many applications. Uh, and the other aspect of it is it'll be interesting to see what some student or smart guy does with it, similar to how DeepSeek did its thing. So those are the derivative effects that are going to come into play.
Awesome. So definitely essential from Alden here. What do you think, Ankash?
Essential for me as well, John. I think we are back in the game competing with the Chinese models, the open source, open weight models now. So a big win for, I think, all of us.
Luda?
Yeah, certainly essential. And if you click Ankash on the underlying article, there are all these benchmarks, and it's fascinating because these models are certainly at par, if not better, than the 4.1 and oh 03 Mini. So it is actually performant models, and that they are releasing. So essential for sure.
All right. What do you think here, Paul?
Yeah, obviously essential, a double essential for all the reasons here. I mean, this really opens up the on-prem VPC market for OpenAI, which is a big thing.
Yep.
We've heard a lot of companies hesitating against. I think second, it's another indication that OpenAI continues to execute well, and they remain 10 to 15% above the competitors. And for the last 2 years of the AI race, they have remained the exemplar in terms of digital intelligence, and they're doing it now with open source. So I agree, Alden. This really ups the stakes in the open source arena, particularly China versus U.S.
Yeah, huge. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
puts us at par and US at par, if not ahead. So this is good.
yeah, very interesting. Yeah, I mean, talk about hyper competition, billions of dollars being spent, then open sourcing. It's just wild. Essential for me as well. Okay, Akash, next.
And the last thing, John, this is also another play towards the token explosion that we see out there in terms of
Oh,
cost
yeah.
overrun. So, I mean, there's just so many other dimensions of the criticality of this news.
Well, I
Correct.
mean, you should. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's available on AWS right now within a couple of hours. The first OpenAI ape model that's
Wow.
available on AWS Bedrock, right? So that's going to unleash crazy amount of innovation in applications, all these coding apps, all of those things will now start opening up.
Well, the thing that this also points to, I think, is just the increasing demand for electrical power, right? So the choke point of electrical power is going to come to us much faster as we continue to have more open source, right? Which is going to be really interesting, especially I think the Trump administration just decommissioned and wants destroyed two satellites that monitor global warming. There you go. So next, okay.
Okay, the next one again a big one from Anthropic, and they have launched Claude Opus 4.1.
Yeah, I was on this if you go down to what it does for, software engineering, there's such a leader in software engineering. You see the improvement there. I was going to give this an important, maybe an essential, because here we have the market leader coming out with yet a better model for doing software engineering. So that's where I landed on it. What do you think, you're Alden?
Yeah, I would consider this as important and also interesting because, as you know, they just cut off access to OpenAI for their models because OpenAI is about to release like GPT-5, and it'll be interesting to see how well GPT-5 compares to this because that's the thing. Like they're saying that GPT-5 might be the coding leader soon.
I
So,
don't understand what you mean when they say they cut off access, and who cut off access to which.
so Anthropic just like sued or like terminated OpenAI's API access to its API so that they can't even like benchmark and compare because
Can you do
they're
that? Can
degrading
you?
for.
I didn't know you could. I didn't know you could discriminate between who uses your API and not. You
Yeah,
can do
I
that.
think they do it by this use case. They say our terms of service means you can't use our model to train your model,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah, but
therefore,
I don't think they were using to train, they were using
or
to
test
compare.
it.
And so
Oh,
it's,
That's
yeah,
fascinating. I didn't know you could do that.
know that.
But
Well, John, even if you can't, sue me in court, and we'll worry about it 2 years down the road.
correct.
So,
Exactly. So the war is on.
there we go. So important. What do you think here, Luda?
Yeah, important for sure. Not
Alrighty.
essential, important.
And Paul, you're okay with important? Akash?
John, I was on essential for this just because of one reason. So there was a
Mhm.
recent graph, I think from Menlo Ventures, where they shared. So OpenAI is now at 12 billion ARR, whereas Anthropic is at 5 billion ARR. And a large chunk of Anthropic's revenue comes from just two sources. One is Cursor, another one is GitHub, right? And all that is developer focused. So with this particular
Mhm.
release, Anthropic is doubling down on that revenue source, I believe, uh,
Yeah.
and they are targeting OpenAI's ARR or the growth rate. So that's the reason I was sort of essential on this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. I don't know. I'm kind of, when you get into like where it's really getting used, I'm kind of on the fence about this. It's a short article. I think we're going to go essential in this one just because for the reasons you just said, Akash, that the dynamics as to where the major users are, and this is right in the middle of it. So this is Godzilla meets Mothra, over Tokyo here. All righty,
Yeah.
next please.
Okay, yes. The next one that we have for today comes from Google, and again, a big announcement from Google. They have released Genie 3, which is their world model.
Yeah, I mean, talk about everyday miracles. My God, this thing is just amazing. What do you think, Luda?
Yeah, I put it into an important, not essential. In terms of technology, it's an essential leap. It's a simulation of the world environment, if you will, in real time with promptable changes and consistent um, images from one scene to the other, so very very close consistency and very good if you watch it. So it has a lot of limitations. It still can do only couple of seconds up to like a minute. So it's very, meaning the whole video. So it's still in development, but it is miraculous of what Google was able to achieve. So I think in terms of usability, it can be used, but I think it's low. But if you scroll on to this table, it actually beats pretty much very dramatically the prior releases. So it's a major advance, and that's why important for me.
All right, we've got a vote for important here. Alden, where are you on this?
Yeah, I would consider it important, uh, but more as like a step towards whatever is coming next. Right now, it looks like more some sort of like 3D gaming type stuff, and but I'm sure they'll then convert this into real world situations such that you can have 5 minute movies of, real world situations. So,
Yeah, my
um,
guess is that it'll go into communications very quickly and to, also to robotics, right? There's a lot of
yeah.
the real world models are going to be very useful there. I don't know, Akash, where are you on this?
I was on important, John. So the examples that you mentioned, John. So safety training through VR, right? That's a big sort of opportunity area in VR right now. And then also the robotics training. We have seen this from NVIDIA before. So their Dream Lab machine, I think, where they do robotics training by providing them these world models or scenarios to robots, and they learn themselves. So I think important for at least those set of use cases.
Yep.
All right, Paul, your standards being lowered here. You're going to give us an important on a product announcement.
I'm going to defer to you, John. You get to talk today.
All right, we're gonna go important on this one. It is amazing. All right, next, please.
This might be the biggest news day we've had in a while.
I
Yeah.
know.
Huge. 11 Labs. These two happy young men are busy putting out amazing new capabilities. What'd you think here, Alden?
Yeah, this is I'm somewhere between important and essential on this one. And if anybody has anything to do with music, this becomes like essential. Uh, I tested it out, and it looks like the Chat GPT moment for music, right? Like some of the songs that are being created are like studio quality creative. So, if anybody, it's democratizing music, like ChatGPT democratized like writing, basically.
All right. So, and that lands you on important or essential?
I would put it as important with essential for anything music related.
All righty. Luda, where are you?
Yeah, I would actually put it as essential for everyone because what with the lawsuits and the like, this is very litigious place, right? So what they've created essentially an ability to opt in for musicians because they create more revenue streams and the like, and that's important. And they were able to find the sources and put relationships together to train the models on the video, on the music. So I think it's a framework that they've put together that seems to work. So if that's the case, and it sounds like this is the case, then it's essential. It's like I agree with Alden. It's ChatGPT moment for music. So I think it's a change. It's dramatic change, and that's essential.
So, essential for both its capability, but also the legal and business
Yeah.
model framework that it
The frame.
creates. Yeah, Akash, where are you?
I'm with Luda on this, John. Essential for me as well. I think we don't realize it, but music is everywhere, not only just in songs, but overall our professional lives as well. So important for that reason.
Important. So you're gonna important or essential?
Essential.
Essential. All right. Let's give it an essential. All righty. Next.
Okay, the next one is about how almost 100,000 ChatGPT conversations became searchable on Google.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, and after the user set a toggle saying make myself searchable, kind of weird.
Right.
Let's see. Akash, what do you think on this one?
So I was important on this one, John, because it shows us how small changes in these ChatGPT like tools, right? So this was a feature that OpenAI created on ChatGPT where you can just share your chats on social media, and how someone was able to nearly scrape 100,000 conversations, and they all were there on Google. It included NDAs, contract drafts, relationship advice, and might have caused harm to a lot of people as well. But OpenAI sort of rescinded the feature, and this was taken off from Google as well. So I
Yeah.
think a good story of how changes in features of these tools which we don't understand properly, right? They can cause harm to the users.
Interesting. Yeah, it reminded me of when I was using Venmo and found out that my payments were getting broadcast to everyone. Kind of nutty. What do you think here, Alden?
Yeah, I would mark this as optional, and this is like, a business as usual. People will just have to learn that, similar to how we were taught not to set our password to password 123, like that, people will have to learn not to broadcast and make it discoverable and things like that. More than anything, you know, if you're using the personal version or the free version of these tools like ChatGPT, you are most likely going to have a lot of issues like this.
Yeah, no, amazing. So you're making a case for personal accountability and the Darwin effect. If you're stupid enough to kill yourself, you should be out of the out of the gene. The gene.
Yeah,
Okay, what
totally.
do you think, Luda?
I was also an optional. On the other hand, Ankash makes a good point that minor changes that users might not be even aware that they're opting in, but they are opting in. So it's interesting, but I don't know whether this article would be impactful to anybody in the leadership. So I thought it was optional.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, Ankash, we're going optional here. All right.
And
No
from
worries.
a business enterprise perspective, people are supposed to use ChatGPT Teams anyway.
Yeah.
So, something like this wouldn't be allowed out there.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Next and last, please, Ankash.
Yes. So the last one that we have for today is a research paper which talks about agentic web, weaving the next web with AI agents.
Yeah, what do you think of this, Luda? A combination of a kind of history of agency in the context of the web up through today and even predicting new business models. What do you think of this article?
I actually rated it as optional. As much as these researchers are presenting a framework that is a good thinking piece, if you will, and it will evolve in something similar to what they're proposing. So they're saying, look, the web will get replaced by the agentic web. I don't think this group will argue with that. Now, and they then propose a network that talks about the intelligence, interaction, and economics layer that will need to be combined essentially to enable this agentic web. And then they talk about technical challenges and application challenges that I think are massive yet to actually enable that vision. So for that reason, it's a good thinking piece. Maybe I can be argued into important, but it's a 60-some pages. A lot of it is not quite relevant yet, if you will. So I marked it as optional.
Yeah, I was headed for optional as well for the reasons you say, but what do you think, Geraldo?
Yeah, it looks optional to me. While the general concept that the web is going agentic, you also the Perplexity browser comet that's bringing like AI into the browser. Somebody said like 2026 is going to be the year of the AI browser, right? And a lot of people are now releasing like agents for the web. Like we ourselves are releasing a revenue agent that will sit on websites and optimize revenue. So um, stuff will be happening. I'm not really sure like how this changes that or if there is any novel. To be honest, I need to read the paper.
Yeah.
All right.
Ankash, if you scroll to the page 27, there is a agentic web roadmap. But my critique, it might happen this way, right? So it kind of shows the the mapping agent, and then the billing agent, and then the real-time task router. And it depends on MCP and A2A protocols, and that's where the underpinnings are. But I think there will be more capabilities as we proceed, I think. And even though nobody would disagree with this layout per se, but the insides, I think, will get different applications and the like. So I just think it's not yet there.
Yeah. Akash, where are you on this?
Optional, John. I think it provides a good overview of where we are and where we can be with agents, but still a skimmable piece rather than something to deep read.
Yeah, me too. Good backgrounder, not a lot of insight. Okay. All right. So that's it. Paul had to leave us, but he left this comment, which, he said, look, this is perhaps the biggest news day ever. And I agree with that. I mean, this is huge news. OpenAI, 11 Labs, Anthropic, really a lot going on in the industry, not slowing down, but rather speeding up. All right. Akash, you're doing the top board. Any announcements, Alden, for, custom GPT or anything going on in your world?
Mostly the agentic stuff, and I think I hinted at the revenue agent. Like, we are seeing fantastic results from it. Like, basically an agent that sits on your website and optimizes your revenue, drives more conversions, stuff like that.
Through
Appointment,
through
sales,
through layout and advertising, or through what means does it optimize revenue?
through layout, through interaction, through smarter reasoning, smarter thinking, much more awareness of context, contextual engineering, and
Gotcha.
basically it's like having a sales agent, really smart sales agent, right there on the website on every
Gotcha.
interaction.
That's cool.
Fantastic. Well, good
That's
luck
cool.
with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Luda, any announcements?
No.
Akash?
No, John.
All righty. Remember, everybody, we're coming up to our GAI World in September 29 and 30. You're going to have the ability to learn from other leaders. Love to see you there. Tickets are still discounted through August 15th. So just go to gaiworld.com and, of course, subscribe and like to the extent that you like us. And look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. And you can see we had 3 essentials, a couple importance, and a couple options. All
And
righty.
John, to add another thing for the conference, we will be running a Women in AI breakfast. That is a networking event talking about hot topics in AI, specifically for women, on early morning in the second day. So if you are curious about what's happening in AI, or you are an expert applying AI, please join us.
All righty. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a great day. Talk to you all tomorrow.